Hi, dear students. I hope you are enjoying your classes at home and doing your work regularly. So, usually, I start my lesson through concept. Directly through the concept, I start the lesson, right? But today, I made a small change that is, I thought of adding some quotation which will boost your energy. That is, today's quotation is live the life of your dreams. That is, be brave enough to live the life of your dreams according to your vision and purpose instead of expectations and opinions of others. Okay, so let's start a lesson. Today we are going to discuss about transportation in plants as well as excretion. So I covered two topics in today's class, and you're going to learn about the functions of xylem and phloem, transpiration, translocation, excretion in human, and functions of a nephron. Okay, let's start a lesson through a small introduction. See, we have discussed earlier how plants take in simple compounds such as carbon dioxide and prepare its food, and that process is called a photosynthesis. But there are some other raw materials which is required for plants to grow. Can you guess which are those raw material? They are nitrogen, phosphorus, and other minerals. So plants are fixed to the soil, right? They do not move from one place to another to get nutrients, unlike human beings. So how do they get all these nutrients? Since they are fixed to the soil, they get the nutrients through soil. But how it is possible? So what connects plants to the soil? Exactly, that is root. So root helps to absorb all the nutrients from the soil. So for plants, the soil is the nearest and richest source of raw materials like nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and other minerals. And they absorb these substances through roots. Okay, see, you can see plenty of plants around surround in your surroundings, right? Different kinds of plants are there. Some are too small, some are huge, some are trees, some are herbs, etc. See, if you consider grass, it is a simple structure, right? So they are small plants. So in small plants, energy and raw materials can easily diffuse to all parts of the plant body. Like diffusion is very simple here. Why? Because there is a less distance between root and leaf, since root absorbs the nutrients and they supplies to the various parts of the plants, right? And leaf prepares its food. Too small, they easily gets the nutrients and they prepare its food. Whereas in a large plants, diffusion process will not be sufficient. A proper system of transportation is therefore essential. So today we'll discuss the transportation in plants. So usually plants have two types of conducting tissues. See, in human being, heart plays major role for the transportation, right? In plants, xylem and phloem helps for the transportation. So you have already learnt about xylem and phloem in 9th standard, like the types of xylem tissues and types of phloem tissues and their functions. So today we will learn in detail. So usually what is xylem tissue and what is the purpose of this xylem tissue? They transports water and minerals obtained from the soil. They transports water and minerals. Okay, and phloem transports the food which is prepared in leaf to the various parts of the plant. Okay, now let's see how the water moves in a plant. Since xylem tissue, vessels and tracheids of the root system and leaves are interconnected to form a continuous system of water conducting channels reaching all parts of the plant. As we all know, cells are interconnected, means you can see in the picture how the cells, the structure of cell and how they are connected to one another. Since the plants consist billions of cells and these cells are connected to each other, that is they are interconnected, it helps for the movement of water molecules from one cell to another. That is diffusion, is it makes diffusion easy. And also xylem tissue is present in a root, leaf and stem, so it also helps for the movement of water molecules, and it helps in the conduction of water throughout the plants parts. So now let's see how the water moves from root to the various parts. So at the roots, cells in contact with the soil actively take up ions. That means the cells present in a root absorbs all the nutrients from the soil, and this creates a difference in concentration of these ions between the roots and the soil. Therefore, water from the soil, it moves into the root to eliminate this difference. So that is balanced by the water. Understood? The concentration of nutrients in root and soil is balanced by the water, and there will be a steady movement of water into root xylem, it creating column of water that is steadily pushed upwards. So this makes the water movement towards upwards. However, this pressure by itself is unlikely to be enough to move water over the heights that we commonly see in plants. So this is not enough to reach us to all the leaf which are at the uppermost of the plant. So plants use another strategy to move water in xylem upwards to the highest point of the plant body, that is transpiration. So transpiration is a process, a loss of water in the form of vapor from the aerial parts of the plant. How the water is flows towards syntax? Actually, syntax is located at the rooftop, right? And water has to be drawn from ground to the syntax. So how it achieves? This is through the motor. So the motor exerts pressure. Due to that pressure, the water moves upward. It pushes the water upwards and finally it flows to the syntax. Similarly, the transpiration does the same process. So they creates pressure and the water molecule which is present at the stomata, which are at the topmost of leaf, loses the water, okay, through the evaporation process, and then the water molecules from the cell which is immediately next to the uppermost cell goes to that cell, and again it evaporates, and then this process continuously occurs. So this also helps for the upward movement of water molecules in xylem tissues. So the next is transport of food and other substances. So transport of soluble, after the preparation of a food in a leaf, it has to be reached to the all parts of a plant, and this is achieved through the phloem tissue, and this process is called a translocation. So the transportation of food in phloem is achieved by utilizing energy from ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate. The translocation of food and other substances takes place in the sieve tubes with the help of adjacent companion cells both in upward and downward direction. The transport of food takes place in both the direction, multi-direction, unlike a transport of water. The transport of water takes place only in the upward direction, through the upward direction. but food molecules moves in a multi-direction. So this is about the transportation of substance in plant and plants. Now let's move on to the excretion in human beings. So what is excretion usually? Excretion is a biological process involved in the removal of harmful metabolic waste from the body. So what is harmful metabolic waste? What is metabolic waste? See, as we all know, cells performs its own function, right? So during that process, these cells secretes some of the waste products, and it is very harmful to our body. It is very dangerous, and this has to be removed, and this process is called excretion. Cellular activities produces ammonia, which is harmful to our body, and first ammonia will converts into urea in liver, and this urea is eliminated to the excretion process. Let's learn more about it. Okay, our excretory system includes four parts. Okay, a pair of kidney, a pair of ureters, urinary bladder, and a urethra. So what are the main components of excretory system? Kidney and ureters, then urinary bladder, and through urethra urine passes out. Okay, now let's see the function of kidneys. See, the nitrogenous waste, as I told you, it is nothing but metabolic waste, such as urea for uric acid. They are removed from the blood in the kidneys. So it is dissolved in a blood. All these waste are dissolved in a blood, and each kidney has large number of filtration units called nephrons. So it goes to the nephrons. So you see what happens in the nephrons. Usually the nephron consists three main parts. They are glomerulus. You can see the structure here, the coiled structure, coiled inside the cup-like shape, and cup-like shape is called Bowman's capsule, and the long renal tube. So these are the three main components of a nephron. Okay, so nephrons, they are made up of cluster of thin-walled capillaries called glomerula, and which is associated with cup-like structure called Bowman's capsule, and the long tube which terminates through this capsule. Yes. So glomerulus is a branch of arteries. They enters the Bowman's capsule, breaks to form a network of capillaries called glomerulus, and Bowman's capsule is a cup-like sac at the beginning of tubular component of nephron in the human kidney. Now let's see the function. See, first the renal artery brings oxygenated blood to the kidney. So the red color vessel, that is called arteries. These arteries brings oxygenated blood. Along with the oxygenated blood, it also carries some of the nitrogenous waste like urea and uric acid. And then the blood gets filtered through the glomerulus, and this filtrate enters the tubular part of a nephron. You can see in the picture how the nitrogenous waste moves from glomerulus to the collecting duct. So as this filtrate moves down the tubular part, glucose, amino acids, salts, and excess of water gets selectively reabsorbed by the blood vessels surrounding these tubules. So what happens when the blood enters into the glomerulus? Glomerulus absorbs all the nutrients such as amino acids, glucose, excess water, and salts, and then it sends the blood to the renal tube. So the renal tube consists urea, which is the waste product, and this collected in the collecting duct as a urine. The fluid now flowing into the tubular part in urine, which gets collected in the collecting ducts of a nephron. And finally, the urine is stored in a urinary bladder. Urine is stored in the urinary bladder until the pressure of the expanded bladder leads to the urge to pass it out through the urethra. See, this is controlled by the brain, and it is a voluntary function, so we can control, right? Urine we can control, whereas solid food waste we cannot control, feces we cannot control. So if we control, then it leads some other problems. So this is about the excretion in human body, and this is very very important for the exam point of view. Now let's see the multiple choice questions. So here I gave 10 questions. You have to answer for these questions, and the answers will be discussed in the next class. So the first one, the diagram represents urinary system in the human body. So identify the structure through which urine leaves the urinary bladder. Through which part urine goes to the urinary bladder. Next one, the kidney in human beings are a part of the system for nutrition, respiration, excretion, transportation. Then the xylem in plants are responsible for transport of water, transport of food, transport of amino acids, and transport of oxygen. Which part of plant is responsible for transpiration? Leaves, fruit, stem, root. The basic functional unit of kidney is Henle's loop, nephrons, nephridia, renal artery. The main nitrogen containing waste excreted in urine is ammonia, urea, nucleotides, all the above. In amoeba, excretion takes place through the process of diffusion, infusion, uricotilic, none of the above. The major waste produced by human body are carbon dioxide, urea, both 1 and 2, only 2. And the last question, which vessel carries blood to the kidney? Renal arteries, renal vein, both A and B, only A. So the answers will be discussed in the next class. Thank you.